When we talk about the myth of housing affordability in the Rio Grande Valley, typically individuals think because we have a lower cost of living in this region, then the households that we serve should be able to spread more of their household income to cover all of their expenses. Unfortunately, what we see is that it's a myth. We know that, for example, the average 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment at fair market rent in the Brownsville-Harlingen metropolitan area is $760 a month. So again, that just demonstrates that even though, yes, the cost of living in our region is less than that of major metropolitan areas in the state of Texas, like Austin or Houston or San Antonio, it still is not affordable to all individuals who are working in our community. COVID-19 has exacerbated the situation in which many households found themselves previous, specifically that they are stressed financially and unable to meet all of their basic financial needs. Now, CDCB has done the research and determined that from March to the beginning of September, there were over 300 evictions filed in Cameron County. Why is that significant? Because this was the period of time which theoretically individuals should have been covered by the eviction moratorium. So for us, talking about housing affordability, it's almost an invisible issue. Why? Because we don't see scores of homeless individuals living under the freeway or in downtown Washington Park. But we know that individuals are doubling up with family members, or they're staying in hotels or motels, as an extended stay. And because of that, we're not able as a community to see the impact of this housing displacement. And evictions is just one example. A second example that, again, we see commonly but we might not pay attention to, when you're driving and you see the plastic or cardboard signs on the side of the road that say, "We buy houses for cash," and then has a phone number. Again, this is a visual manifestation of housing displacement, because we know that individual investors or people looking to flip houses are trying to locate individuals who are in that breaking point, that stressful point where they feel like they either can't make their mortgage payment any longer, they're going to have to foreclose on their home, they might be evicted. And they see that as a business opportunity, obviously, to purchase that, flip the house, resell it. And we don't want to negate any possible business opportunities, but what we do want to do is protect families who don't have another safe place to go. Josue has developed a concept through an art installation where he's going to take those signs and build a physical house.
Hello, my name is Josue Ramirez. I am an artist living in the Rio Grande Valley, and I am a housing advocate here at CDCB Come Dream, Come Build. So the project really started about a year ago when I started noticing that there were a lot more of these signs scattered throughout the Rio Grande Valley. These signs are called bandit signs, and they're not just a problem in the Rio Grande Valley, they're a nationwide phenomenon. These signs are illegal because they are in the public right-of-way and they're being put up without any permits or anything from the city. Secondly, they're pretty ugly to look at. They become visual trash, and it's just another way of littering and making the image of the community more downtrodden, in my opinion. These are more than just guerrilla marketing tools or edgy promotional tactics. They really are the visualization of displacement. And you see these in every intersection, and we don't think about what it really means because they don't tell the full story. They tell the story of a get-rich-quick scheme, or even might even come out as saviors to the people that are really hurting. But the truth is that they're taking advantage of a situation where the individuals who are going to them aren't doing it because it's to their benefit. And that's unfortunate because people, again, work most of their lives to make this purchase of a home and to be in a situation where you can't pay off your mortgage or you can't make payments, and you're just so scared that this selling your house to these types of people seems like the best option. Then that really says something about how hurt the housing market is. So the idea of building a structure of a home with these signs, once I took them off, was a way to subvert the narrative they were telling and to visualize what they really represent. And it's also an ode to the self-help building style here that's very common in the Rio Grande Valley, specifically in the colonias, which basically means that people build their home as they can, as they have the capacity, and with what they have. And it's very much also Rasquacha sensibility, which basically means you find the beauty in what you have and you make do with what you get. And while that's, you know, something that we should respect and that we should admire in our community, I don't think it should be the case for everything. You know, I don't think that we should make do with what we get all the time. We deserve to have access to quality housing. We deserve to have access to living wages where families can build assets through home ownership. We deserve not being at the mercy of the market. We should demand that we get what we are worth, and that is decent, dignified living conditions and homes for our community. It's also a call to action to get people to think a little bit more about what these signs actually mean. And then not only that, but pairing them with research and with our policy suggestions to really maybe engage folks to becoming civically engaged with the topic, besides being a piece of art and a way to clean up the streets, because these signs all came from the Rio Grande Valley intersections. We hope that this helps dispel the myth of housing affordability in the Rio Grande Valley. Just because there's a lower cost of living here doesn't mean that individuals can actually afford to live here, because our wages are so stagnant, because poverty is so entrenched, and because there's so many systems of oppression working in tandem that are really keeping this place hurting.
This is a way to draw the community into the issue that we're discussing, a way for them to visibly see these signs don't just mean that someone's looking for a business opportunity. They also potentially represent a family, a household who now has lost their home. In order to solve the issue of housing displacement and inaffordability in our region, we're going to have to take a multifaceted approach to developing solutions. One example is to pass an ordinance at the city level to stop the notice to vacate for evictions for a short period of time, just until individuals have had the opportunity to return to work and move past the economic impact of COVID-19. Another idea is to propose capping late fees for individuals who have back rent payments. We need more structured support for individuals to be able to live in our region and sustain not just their housing expenses, but all of their expenses. We're really trying to move people from a place of just surviving to thriving, and housing is a critical component.